could be the fact that he's playing Flashpoint Batman.
What is it with trailers at the moment as well, and sort of like pulling dusty sheets off of 80s movie cars? Like we had it in Ghostbusters. We've got
it's
it in
nostalgia.
Flash.
It's revealing. It's like, here's your childhood.
The Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review with me, Jacob's Toys, of course, the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell, and Ryan Speaks Geek. If you're listening on podcast, then please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. Do check out the description below. Follow these guys if you don't already. And yeah, all of those things.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for Ryan doing that.
I like to do something different every week.
It feels like there's more and more every time. So this week is obviously massive. We had DC Fandome, so this week is mainly going to be about DC. There was a massive reveal this week. Quite obviously, SuperSorrell's face. As you can see, we are missing a beard. So yeah. very nice look, I think there, Sorrell. Very nice look.
Just annoying. We spent so much money on that merchandising for 3 beards on a Geek Week, and just the week we were going to reveal it or and release it, this happens.
That's it. All the t-shirts are going to have to be put back now. So
I'm gonna burn them until November.
The annoying thing is, I'm like a goddamn werewolf. So by Friday, I'll have a full-on beard again. It'll just grow back overnight.
I thought you were going to say by the end of this video, I'll have a full-on.
Yeah, like The Simpsons when Homer shaves and it just goes.
So, I mean, this week's been a crazy one because obviously on the Hasbro front, on like kind of Marvel and Star Wars, there's been very little noise at all because obviously we're only a week away from Hasbro Pulse Con, Hasbro Pulse Con,
wherever they call it. Yeah.
I always call it
a selection
Hascon.
of those words in a particular order.
No, I joke. I used to call it Hascon, but it's not. It's Hasbro Pulse Con. So Hasbro Pulse Con is obviously taking place next week, as well as MCM London as well. So we've got that as well. So there might be a little bit extra news there as well. I am attending. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be going down one of the days. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, so in regards to Hasbro, there wasn't much going on. And obviously Disney Plus, all the shows have kind of stopped at the moment. We've finished up with What If, and we're still waiting for things like Hawkeye to start. But we were spoiled. We had DC Fandome, which was pretty crazy, actually. I think it was, there was a lot of stuff that came out.
It was 3.5 hours long, and I sat through the whole thing. And you know what? I didn't get bored once, actually. I was quite surprised. They kept that rhythm going all the way through.
It was good. I think due to the, we've talked about it before, but obviously with the pandemic and everything like that, I think that brands have really kind of embraced this online side of it. So it's really good to see the DC side of the online offerings being so strong. So, and there was a lot of stuff there to unpack. There really was a lot of stuff there to unpack.
Did anybody catch Boulevard?
No.
Even Lynn was sat with me at the time, my wife, and she was so confused. She was like, "What? Why is he so hyperactive?" It was the guy that played Javelin in Suicide Squad.
Right, okay.
He was just so like off his head kind of thing. Like it was like the way, because he's got like a really thick, like I'm not sure he's like German or Austrian. He's got like an accent going on, and he's just like, "Okay, we're going to do this and that. I'm going to be the new Superman." And it's like, what? He was just off on one.
He was
the funniest thing alive.
Okay, so in regards to everything that was revealed, let's go through as much of it as we can, but let's just go around quickly. What was the highlight for you? Let's start with you, Sorrell. What was the big thing for you, do you reckon?
The big thing for me was the announcement that they're continuing the DC Direct stuff. They're not, McFarlane's not going to let that fall to the side. He's going to pick that up and run with it. That includes all the statues, the black and white statues by Batman, and we're also going to be getting the DC designer series coming back, and sort of other lines that have been dropped. He's bringing back basically. So I think that's a good thing, because a lot of collectors, I think, felt a bit pushed out when that ended, and then McFarlane picked it up, just started afresh, which I get, but it'll be nice for him to pick up some of those animated series things.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was good. That was a good bit of info. Because it was a big noise, wasn't it, at the time when McFarlane took over? There was a lot of people that were quite disappointed. I think the problem is, I think it's good that you've got like one kind of one overall brand dealing with it, because my biggest problem with the DC figures was the difference in sizes and shapes and everything that you couldn't collect kind of as a whole. Like, it just felt, and I remember how disappointed I was. I was saying, it was like a Harley Quinn I was saying, and I picked her up and she was from one of the other brands, and I stood her next to like my Batman and she was like 2 foot taller than him, and I was like, whoa, hang on, this is not fair. What about you, Ryan? What was your highlight?
I think mine was the entertainment reveals. I think like I didn't think we'd get the Flash trailer that we got. I thought we'd have maybe a few production stills and a bit of a conversation. So getting more of actual footage. I think between that and then in sort of animated land, I just got really excited about a new series of Young Justice, which I think is one of the most underrated DC shows there is. Still waiting for like season 3 in the UK, but the fact they're doing season 4 and it's focusing on like the original cast. That was I had no idea really, so that was a real sort of bonus. And also the fact there's a new Bruce Timm led Batman animated series coming out. That was and his direct quote was by himself, more Batman animated series than Batman the animated series, which I still don't quite understand, but I'm excited by it.
That's confidence there, isn't it? My thing is more the thing than the thing itself. Like that is real confidence there. For me, I think, if I'm honest, for me it was definitely the Flash trailer was the big one, because like you said, I mean, I didn't expect to see as much as I did, but I'm gonna stick. No, I tell you what,
you wish you saw the Batman. I was excited by the trailer, but I was also equally disappointed by the trailer. I wanted the Batman reveal. I wanted to, especially when they did that thing where he goes, "I'm in." I wanted it to cut to to Batman saying, "I'm in. No, I'll help you out." Just something. Just give us his face in the cowl.
Even I would have even settled for, like in the old, like in the Batman, the kind of the Tim Burton Batman stuff, and you kind of get the chest turn with even just something like that would have like been a pop for me. I was waiting for that pop.
I think it was smart though, because like every film does that now. Yeah.
But they said it at the beginning, we haven't got enough to put together a real trailer, and we haven't got enough to but this is what we've got, sort of thing. And it was still more than we were expecting to get. But I also massively kind of like hyped for the Peacemaker series as well. I was really surprised that that's kind of that's where it is so soon after the film. I thought that was something that and that's been talked about, but I thought it was going to be something that we'd see way down the line. And
it looked it looked almost like it had been shot more or less side by side with Suicide Squad, because they had them all together. I think they shot it all in one go, because it looks very much complete.
Yeah, I reckon so. Something
it comes
like
out in January, doesn't it? It's January 22nd or something, did they say? That's something like that.
Something like that. So, and I just think it's going to be really entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
Where is it?
Do we know? Yeah. The problem is they did that whole DC streaming service, but we never got that in the UK. And then like Harley Quinn animated series came up on like E4. Doom Patrol came up on like Stars Play via Amazon. It was all
anything that was TV that got announced at DC Fandome is going to be on that HBO service that's out, and we're getting that at the end of this month in the UK.
Right, there you go then. There you go. What a perfect way to kind of make us, because I was on the fence about that, to be honest with you. I was kind of like, it's something I'll definitely get at some point, but I'm not when we were talking about it last week, I was like, I'm in no rush for it. But having seen everything that they showed there, now I'm kind of like, actually, I need to get on that. So, all right, let's go through it a little bit then. So let's go through some of the entertainment stuff. So I suppose the biggest talking point, or the one that was hyped up the most, was obviously Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, because that's been hyped for years and years, and they've not shown us hardly anything, have they? And then all of a sudden, they gave us a full trailer sort of thing. I would have liked more. I'm not going to lie. There was enough in there kind of thing to keep me entertained, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more than what we got.
Will we get a musical number,
Yeah.
We've seen his abilities in like Moana, so can we get like a save the day? What can I say except and then it's like Shazam.
I think the film's going to be good. I really do think it's going to be good. And Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate as well.
That's
got to be quite a good one. But he looks old now. Like I didn't realize how old he looks now. Like when I think of like Pierce, I just kind of like I go to Goldeneye and just think that the guy doesn't age. Like that's how he looks.
If he's watching this, he's just gonna be like, Jacob's Toys, you son of a
No, but I mean the guy's, he's a very, very reputable English actor. I'm proud to have him. But
the thing is, you could have something with him and Timothy Dalton now in the same thing, and they'd actually could play like the mad, the English scientists. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good casting for him though. I think it's going to be good, and I am actually quite excited for it. But yeah, I think if anything, I would have liked to have just seen a little bit more. The trailer, there was a lot of kind of build up to that reveal, wasn't there? And then he didn't do much more than kind of a wrestling move, just choke slam.
It was The Rock. What are you expecting? Yeah. That's all he does in his films: choke slams and rock bottoms.
But no, I was. I'm glad
building,
that we actually got it.
Do you think it's going to build to a Black Adam versus Shazam kind of deal?
Blatantly.
Like a Batman versus Superman kind of thing? Do you reckon we're going to get that kind of build up again and crossovers? And
possibly. Or will he even be in Shazam, like the new one? Like, will they have that?
Be in Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, because
that's my sort of prediction.
Isn't Black Adam and Shazam's powers more like very similar and coming from a similar source or something? I'm not massively up on these comics. So
he's actually effectively the forgotten one, like the one that was originally chosen as the champion.
Okay.
But then he was quite sort of like an anti-hero because he does sort of sometimes the right things for the wrong reasons and vice versa. But like it's he gets his powers stripped away, then he gets them back again. But it's really convoluted in the film, like which kind of storyline they're going with. But from what I can gather, this is the one where there's the sixth broken chair when they in the Shazam film, and I think they're sort of going along the lines of he was the original one and he's been lost for a long period of time, so I guess he's got locked away somewhere, and that's what we're going to see in Black Adam. I think it's going to be either him being locked away or released, either one or both.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember which film comes first, whether we're getting Black Adam first or the second Shazam film.
No idea.
Black Adam, I think.
Black Adam first. So therefore, if I think we get Black Adam first, I think he'll show up in Shazam at some point, even if it's post-credit scene or something like that. Because even in that first Shazam film, they showed us that chair, didn't they? They set it up, and obviously this film was supposed to be out ages ago anyway, wasn't it? It's like 2 years in the making or something. So I think that's the kind of direction they were going. So there's definitely going to be a crossover there, but I don't know. I think they could do quite well with it. I mean, I really enjoyed Shazam. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was just the right balance of just right balance of
with superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think that it'll be quite good. But I'm interested to see what happens. It'd be exciting. So then going down my list, I made a couple of notes before we started, just because it was 3.5 hours worth of of content, wasn't it? I'm a big fan of the DC TV shows. That was really entertainment-wise. That was what kind of kept my foot in the water, if you like, with the DC stuff, like all the Arrowverse and everything. I've fallen off of it a little bit recently, but seeing the promo for the new season of The Flash and actually giving him the gold boots, that kind of made me smile. I'm not going to lie. Although the series in itself is getting quite comical,
I jumped off after the Crisis of Infinite Earths. Like I was doing all of them, and I kept up to date with all the different series. But then it got to the point where like Batwoman for some reason was on E4.
It was a lot of work. To try to catch up with it, wasn't it?
Actually, the Crisis on Infinite Earths was a really good way to just go, I've enjoyed it up till now. I'm going to put a fork in this. The one I'm most tempted to watch again, weirdly, is DC Legends of Tomorrow, which used to be the one I was least bothered about. But now it's so great in its tone and bizarrity that it's really entertaining.
Yeah, it is actually a good show.
I might jump back
the Flash has just kind of got a bit comical now, and I don't know. They've had some really, really strong storylines, but it was nice to see him with gold boots. But then he's also got like 2 children now that are like
he's got kids now.
The same age as him, because of the timelines and everything like that. So there we go. Aquaman Lost Kingdom. Massive Aquaman fan. Loved that first film. Thought that was one of the best DC films at the time.
Just want to explore like Atlantis, because I loved the way they brought this whole mythos and world. It's bizarre really, because like it was almost its own franchise. When you forget it was like Aquaman's part of the Justice League thing, but like when you watched Aquaman, it was this huge expanse, a whole world, a whole universe you wanted to explore underwater. Like it's crazy. I wanted to see so much more. I'm gutted the Trench movie is not happening now because I was actually really curious about that because that could have been really.
That
cool,
would have been good fun.
Cool
One thing I will say about the DC films is that if you take out Man of Steel, for example, take that one kind of away and take away the Batfleck, Batman versus Superman and the rest of it. Aquaman was really strong. Wonder Woman was really strong. The Flash trailer makes it look really good. And I think that these films and these kind of, solo stories could really kind of give the Justice League an opportunity to come back with a better film.
I think I don't think Batman and Superman work with the rest of the DC universe because they're so strong characters that just take over the whole story. I think Superman and Batman should be its different entity, and then let all these other characters like your Aquaman, your Wonder Woman, Shazam, Black Adam, let them build up their own little Justice League movie.
Yeah,
them all crossing over each other's films and build a universe that way, and then bring in Batman and Superman later once they're established.
I must admit, as a kid reading the comic books, because I read both DC and Marvel when I was younger, and for me, DC felt very much like the guys and the girls in it were just like next level powers. Like they were the really, like Superman, you don't get bigger than like Superman. I can just do everything really well. Like it's like, he's up there. Whereas Marvel felt a lot more kind of grounded because I was reading comic books like Spider-Man and things like Luke Cage and stuff like that, where they were kind of much more kind of street level. And I think that the films have gone in that direction as well, where they've not overpowered their superheroes. And I think Marvel did a really clever move in Civil War by taking Banner and Thor out of it, obviously, and having them off-world doing other things, because then it made it grounded. And I think if you had Thor in Civil War, for example, it wouldn't be, would it? It would have been, or even the Hulk, and I think that's the problem the Justice League made, is that they had to have Superman in it, obviously, but I think they could have gone down the angle of maybe Superman being the bad guy instead, the whole black suit and everything like that. That's Warner Brothers, if you're listening, that's my hint.
I also thought they killed off Superman too early. They could have had a proper heart-wrenching storyline about that. Will he return in the film? Will he not? They could have had this awesome Captain America moment of DC.
Oh, massively.
They massively underplayed it.
Yeah. And there were obviously other things under, the whole Snyder Cut and everything like that. There was a lot going on. But I think, and my original point is that I think that these solo movies that, Wonder Woman got a sequel, Aquaman's getting a sequel, Flash is so hyped up that there's no doubt that will get a sequel as well. I think that these solo stories could bring back the Justice League enough that we're going to kind of want to see them all on screen together again. That's my opinion anyway. So staying on movies and TV, obviously we mentioned Peacemaker earlier on. That just looks insanely cool. Doom Patrol, you mentioned that briefly, Ryan. Obviously Doom Patrol has got season 4. And SuperSorrell mentioned last week about HBO, like the service that we're going to be able to sign up to. And Doom Patrol is something I really want to get behind, because what show was it that you saw Doom Patrol in?
Titans.
It was Titans, wasn't it? But
yeah, it's not the actual Doom Patrol that's in.
No, it's a
show.
Different version, isn't it? It's like
even though two of the actors are the same, but like it's a bit of a multiverse type thing.
Yeah, so it's a different version, because didn't the one in Titans, this one has Cyborg in it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and the one in Titans didn't.
Yeah, because and also like the different Niles Calder as well, like there was a lot of differences there, but like Cliff Steele was basically Steele and Elastica were the two that sort of stayed in from the series that crossed over to when it made its own series. But honestly, I think hands down it might be one of my favorite superhero TV shows that they've ever done, ever. Genuinely, like I think it's got such a good mix of like comedy, drama, like actual character building, which I think has been lacking in a lot of these. Like it respects the characters, it respects the bizarreness of it, and they're going like, we can have enough fun with this, but then sort of bring it right back down to an emotional level. And the next thing something completely mad and random happens, but like it really works. I can't think praises high enough.
No, I'm really excited to get hold of the HBO streaming service just so I can binge watch it.
And let's not forget, it brought Brendan Fraser back to the world of acting. Yeah.
Yay!
Yes.
Renaissance.
Yeah. And he was such a massive part of like the kind of, what was it, early 2000s? He was essentially the Rock of the early 2000s.
Bedazzled,
Every film
Monkey
had
Bone,
it.
The Mummy, Mummy Returns, just California Man or Encino Man, depending on where you are. He just Brendan Fraser, man.
Yeah, man. So then the Flash trailer. Let's talk about the Flash trailer then in a little bit more detail.
Different Flash.
I'm hyped. I am hyped. I think the suit looks good. I think that the kind of, I think the only thing that disappoints me is that we're obviously on Marvel. It's all about multiverse and universes and timelines. And so everything that was kind of mentioned in that trailer, I was like, oh, I know about this because I've watched my Marvel films. It's kind of like, I wish that it kind of came at a different time. So it could have been new, if that makes sense. I think that's the only thing for me is I think that some people, without sort of, casting too much of what's it on people, but I think that there will be the casual fan that doesn't kind of necessarily know the differences in the stories that will just look and think, oh, well, DC are trying to copy what Marvel did. Because obviously this will come out after Doctor Strange and everything, and they'll just go, oh, well, they're just trying to copy it because it works. And it's not at all. It's so rich in its own history.
Stories.
Oh, massively, yeah. I would like to see the Thomas Wayne character.
Yeah, well, I always thought that was the plan because look at the actors they got to play Tom and Martha Wayne in when they did the whole Batman versus Superman thing. You don't get actors of that caliber for such a short role. And I was like, the reason they've done that is because you can totally see him as sort of Flashpoint Batman.
It was Jeffrey D. Morgan, wasn't it?
Yeah, guy played a comedian and Watchmen.
Comedian and Negan, obviously, from Walking Dead.
But so you don't get actors like that to be in it for 3 seconds,
How do we know? How do we know that because they didn't show us the front of that Batsuit, we're assuming that he's going to be that Michael Keaton is going to be, but we're assuming he's playing Batman. What if Keaton is playing Thomas Wayne and they didn't show us that front of that suit because they're going to do the reveal in the film that actually that's Flashpoint Batman, not the Batman you're remembering, and they're just the actor for a bit of nostalgia factor. Because he's going to be old enough to play Thomas Wayne. He's old and grey and grizzled.
You know what? If they do that, then that trailer was cut together so well that whoever did it needs an Oscar or something. Because they
also didn't reveal the Batmobile. They kept that quiet.
No,
they didn't want to show us the Batmobile either. So it could be the fact that he's playing Flashpoint Batman.
What is it with trailers at the moment as well, and sort of like pulling dusty sheets off of 80s movie cars? Like we had it in Ghostbusters. We've got it in
nostalgia.
Flash.
It's revealing. It's like, here's your childhood.
It really is, isn't it? But no, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I can't wait for it. I think it's the first DC film to come out for a long time that I'm really, really anxious for and really can't wait to see what they do with it.
I have one question. What you guys think though? Do we think Grant Gustin will appear ever so briefly in the film? Because obviously Ezra Miller appeared ever so briefly in the Flash TV show.
I would like it.
That'd be cool.
But
I don't think it will happen, but it'd be cool.
It depends on the tone. The difference is the Grant Gustin stuff is very slapstick at times and leans a lot more into the comedy element. So having that cameo worked. Whereas if this Flash film is a lot more gritty, then it wouldn't work, if that makes sense.
I'll tell you how I'd like it if they did do it. Not even like a spoken thing. If he's running through the time stream and as he's looking to the right left, you can see like the original Flash series, a clip of him running through the time stream, clip of like Grant Gustin running, just like the infinite mirrors type thing. I thought that would be really cool. If he looked to his right and his left, that would look really cool. They don't have to speak, they don't have to say anything. It'd just be all the different people who've ever played Flash, just like
that'd be really cool. That would be really cool. So another one briefly is we got the Sandman TV shows coming out on Netflix. Now I'm not hugely up on my Sandman stuff. I know it's all kind of to do with evils and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. The audio
I'm excited for it. And then obviously game wise, oh no, sorry, we got Blue Beetle as well. Blue Beetle, they announced that they're making a movie of that as well, which is quite cool because he's obviously a younger superhero and stuff. And there's a lot that they could potentially do with it.
DC are really
Amy Reyes one, aren't they? They're not doing the Ted Cord Blue Beetle, are they?
No.
Yeah.
And I think they are really pushing this as almost DC's Black Panther, isn't it? They're pushing this as it's the minority character kind of thing, and going to play up this whole like repressed kind of culture kind of thing. They look like they're going down that road with it, the same sort of thing as Black Panther kind of did. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be like the first time you've got a superhero for that kind of culture almost kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Treading very sensitively here. But you know what I mean?
I know exactly.
I think that's where they're going with it.
And I think that's great. I really do think that's brilliant. What a cool thing. But I mean, I'm excited for that. And I think that, you know, thinking back to what I remember of Blue Beetle with kind of the CGI elements of today's kind of filmmaking.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lot of potential to be very visually exciting.
Oh, I can't wait for it because if you look at him like Blue Beetle in like Young Justice or Teen Titans, and then he was in Smallville that time. You know, like there's so much potential for it. Like, you know, you are right with the CGI technology you got now. You know, they have that kind of the scarab and then just the armor, like almost being like millions of like microscopic scarabs that then make the armor like it's just and all these arms.
Oh, it'd be incredible.
Weapons.
Oh, all the big the cannons and everything. Yeah. So
it'd
it'd be cool. It would be cool. And who knows? They might. You know what? They might. I'm just totally thinking off it here, but they might completely leave the Justice League where it was and just like, you know what? We took a shot. It semi-landed or whatever. We've got all these solo films going on and actually go down the Young Justice kind of team up movie idea.
So cool. I'd love that.
And then you would have the established, but you'd have the established characters from the other films like Aquaman and Flash and that could kind of dip in as like the older generation. And yeah, that's where I think they're going. Warner Brothers, if you are just cool. You heard it here first.
Sponsor the Geek Week in Review.
But so also we got games as well. We got Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, and that one I think we got a trailer for that last year, didn't we?
We did.
Was it actually it was Fandom last year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So that looks a lot of fun. I need to get back into my games, and I definitely think I could get in on that one.
Oh, come on, though. That trailer was hilarious with Penguin.
Oh, Penguin, yeah.
He's on floor, they just he's still running. They keep zapping him.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think it looks a lot of fun. And obviously Suicide Squad is a huge thing for DC at the moment because it's really, when it comes to the two films that have been out, even though they're separate and the same, if that makes sense, it's obviously a big one. People think of DC and they think of the Suicide Squad. So hopefully it could do really well. And obviously we got another trailer for Gotham Knights as well, which I'm quite excited about. I love the
owls in that one.
Yeah. Court of Owls are in it, aren't they? I love I love the Batman Arkham games. Like they were really I played through those. Awesome. That absolutely loved them. So I think this one's definitely got potential to be really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Really I think like the Arkham ones were like the first time I played a game where I actually felt like I was playing Batman. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like some other ones you just like be about it, but you're right. The Arkham series, you actually really did feel like Batman trying to be stealthy up again, like in the rafters and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's like Fallen Order was the first one I felt properly like a Jedi playing like a Star Wars game, and like Arkham was like that. You know, it was the first time I felt like properly playing as Batman.
Yeah, I've been playing it, and I'm Batman. It's like proper. Turn the light off and sit in the corner playing it. Like
whenever I'm hungry, I've just been like, Alfred, I need a snack.
Get me some food. So that were the kind of games. Right. So while we're talking about Batman, obviously there was that massive drop of the new trailer for Batman. And the reason why that led in so beautifully is we actually heard the Batman voice for the first time. We heard Robert Pattinson's Batman, and I am vengeance. Like it's, I don't know, like
it's all right.
It was all right. Yeah,
but I think the problem is everyone is now so expecting something so ridiculous that actually when he came out with something that was quite realistic and normal, everyone was like, oh, okay, because everyone was going for like, I'm swallowing gravel every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or like the weird Batfleck one where it's like, it's a robot Batman maybe because of a voice modulator. And then you got Will Arnett going like, nope, no, it's snake clowns because you put that idea in my head. And then actually he comes along with just what would be a realistic Batman voice. And everyone was like, oh, no gimmick. All right. Yeah, cool.
What's up, Batman?
Yeah,
I must
Batman,
admit,
bitch.
Batman. While we talk about Batman, like Batman is not one of my favorite superheroes. Like I've never massively fanboyed for Batman. I mean, I love Batman, but if I had to rank him, he wouldn't rank even in my top 5 probably. However, when it comes to movie Batman, he's had so many recasts and we've had so many kind of actors play Batman, but I've never been disappointed. I've never really kind of gone, oh no, I don't know about. Like I enjoyed all the 80s and 90s Batman films. I enjoyed the Christian Bale stuff. I was a massive pioneer for the Batfleck when they announced that, and people really hated on that. And I was like, you know what? I think it's going to work.
And it did.
And it did. And when they announced Robert Pattinson, I was kind of like, you know what? The guy can act. Like, okay, people talk about Twilight and stuff, but the guy can act. And I think given a role like this, I think he's going to do really well with it.
Yeah, I've often people do crap on him a little bit. Same with the I forgot her name, the girl that was in it with him in Twilight with him. Kristen. What's her name?
Kristen.
Yeah,
Stewart. There you go.
Not
people
Dunst.
are always
say Kirsten Dunst as well. I was like, no.
Yeah, Kirsten
Stewart. Wrong generation.
People are very quick to say, oh, they're just child actors that were in crappy teen thriller-like movies, but they've got to grow up at some point and have real roles. So I mean, they've got to start somewhere, for God's sake. So I mean,
you know what, right?
See how he does with it.
Talking Twilight, right? I'm going to touch on this subject very briefly because
please don't do this.
No, but my daughter's at the
Everyone
age
else
now
has logged off this chat. That's weird.
Listen, my daughter's at the age now where Twilight is interesting. Like it's kind of like, oh, I want to watch the Twilight film. So we sat down and watched them, and I still to this day hold my hands up, and I'll admit that the final two, the Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2, and that I really enjoyed. Like it's like that. As it got kind of more into it, as the films kind of mature, they get better. It's just that first one is so kind of soppy. And a lot of the jokes on kind of how they act and how they behave are really based off the first one.
Yeah.
And when you actually watch it as it develops as a story, so I think it was 4, maybe 5 films.
5 films.
Five,
Oh yeah, because they split the last book, didn't they? Not that I've read the books, just hands up. I have not read the books.
No,
right?
you know what? Actually, other way around. I have read the books. I really enjoyed the books when I was younger. When I first read them, I actually looked forward to it. So
I just love the fact that there was a werewolf called Jacob. I was like, I'm sold. Count me in. But yeah, so I like him as an actor. I'm not going to lie. I do like him as an actor, and I think that he's going to do really well with it. The one concern I have with it is that they're making it look very like grounded, if that makes sense. Like, like the bat suit looks very much like he made it himself with a glue gun kind of thing.
Though, isn't it?
It's
the year one.
Yeah. Catwoman is obviously very basic, and we discussed this earlier, but there were some leaks of figures, and they've obviously been officially revealed now, as you mentioned earlier. But that Riddler costume, like that Riddler figure looks crap. I'm just going to say it now. Like that's not the Riddler. The Riddler is.
I think this is where people are going to be torn because it is year one Batman, so they are very different to what they end up becoming. People are so used to what that stupid Gotham TV series did, where they're kind of, oh, who am I going to grow up to be? But clearly it's Penguin, and clearly they're the guy's Riddler. So I mean, you're so used to seeing them look the way they look in the comic books classically, whereas this has gone completely off the left wing and gone, what if they were realistic people, and what if they had to create their own suits and they're only young teenagers or like early 20s? So I mean, that would be how they would
forward
look.
to that.
But I think I think it could work. I just think that the danger is that people will kind of dismiss it because of that. I think that any real kind of fans of comic books and stuff like that will kind of be intrigued by that idea and kind of enjoy that because they've got so much of the other stuff as well. But I think anyone coming into it for the first time, for example, might not buy into that kind of look, And
I would say though, I'm sorry.
I want to say if you watch the DC Fandom thing, they did not make this sound like this was one and done, this film. They were making it sound like they
No.
were building a universe. They were building this ground up, and that you're
Yeah.
going to grow to like these characters. Is what, like she was saying, she can't wait to come back, is what she said. She said, I can't wait to come back and develop this character with Bruce and see where it goes, kind of things. It's like they have planned multiple films here.
Yeah, without doubt.
Will be more adapted to change, because just think about it. No one kicked off that Joker, that Heath Ledger's Joker wasn't Cesar Romero or Mark Hamill, you know. So, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to see Christian Bale's Batman, like Batman, and then Cesar Romero, like Batman 66 Joker. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, Batman.
Take this seriously. I am.
You know why I got these scars? Or like Mark Hamill coming like, hello, kiddies, Joker's back in town. You know, it would have been very.
Do you not think though?
wrong.
Do you not think though that that Mark Hamill, as he is now, could not pull off a live action Joker amazingly and make it super dark and super creepy with that voice that we're so used to from our childhood on a grizzled old guy that's like
100%
Joker in his like maybe on his last legs or something.
So
that would be amazing. Obviously, it wouldn't, because this is going to be like set when he's a young man. So, but yeah, I would have loved it if there'd have been like some film at some point where he was like an old man Joker. That would have been amazing.
That would be cool. I'm excited for it. I am excited for it. I'm also intrigued because if they are, it's interesting you touched on the setup there, because if they are building a universe, we're gonna see a hint or a lead into something or someone else, villain wise, or there'll be something. And I'm excited to see where that goes. I always like the kind of little, they're coming, or that means that it's so and so, or that is so and so. It's interesting.
I've just got this image of a cinema. Everyone's really quiet, and it's just Jake going, "Ooh,
ooh, oh, I know him."
Yeah. Hey, I know him. He's a friend from my comic book.
It's interesting you mentioned Gotham though, because I stuck with Gotham like right through to the end, and I really it became that kind of ugly scar that you kind of grow to love. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way I can describe it. You first get it and you're like, I hate this. My arm looks totally different. And then by the end of it, you're like, look at my scar. Like, it's, and the kind of development of Batman in that really great. Like, it didn't work for me at all. And then in that final season where you sort of see him in this costume, but by the time it wrapped, I was like, I'm so behind this. I need another series, or give me like something. So I hope that they can do that in this film with Robert Pattinson. It'd be amazing to see him be totally taken on as Batman, and then given this kind of couple of movie deal.
What I'm excited about as well is the fact that they've already said that this is not an origin story. We are starting with Batman. He's already got the suit. He's already established. Like he's a young lad that's kind of just starting out. But they're not doing that whole his parents got killed in an alley, and they're not giving us the sub story all over again. I think that they did that well when Marvel did it for Spider-Man. It worked because we didn't need the backstory. We know the backstory. If DC do it in the same way, it should work really well.
Yeah, 100%, just straight into it.
I think 50 old guy actors that were like, damn it, I was going to play Uncle Ben, but they didn't kill me this time. Oh.
Yeah. But the funny thing is as well is that, kind of geek kind of film, geek movies and stuff, they've been around now for so long. It really is common knowledge. Like, I remember being in the playground as a kid, like telling people the Spider-Man origin story, or telling people what happened to Batman's parents. But you could pretty much kind of go into a playground now and ask some kids, what happened to Batman's parents, and they'll tell you. Or, how did Spider-Man get his powers, and they'll tell you, because it is just kind of common knowledge now, isn't it? So they're able to just dive straight in with these films because they are established characters for the general public and the mass population, if you like.
Or even worse, they turn around and go, which universe? Because I have a lot of problems to choose from. Okay, because like it could be a bit like Spider, it could be like he made the powers himself. Does he have web? I don't think so. Is it Tobey? No, get Tobey Maguire out of it. No, come on.
But the scary thing is, right, is that there are children now. Like, I talk to my kids about Spider-Man who don't know who Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is. Like that worries me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that really old film. Whoa. Right. You don't realize what that film did. Like, So anyway, but no, I'm hyped for Batman. I am hyped for Batman. And yeah, I think the biggest pop for me was the voice, not because I was kind of like, oh, it's the Batman voice, but for the same reason you said, Ryan, that it's not a Batman voice. You've not tried to do your own spin on this. Like you've done what you can. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'm glad they finally moved away from god awful Christian Bale's voice, because that used to grate on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
He used to grate on his throat as well, but
that first Batman Begins, when he's got that guy upside down and he's just randomly screaming in his face for no reason. He's like, where are they hiding? He's like,
swear to me!
Necessary, isn't it?
Swear to me!
Yeah.
That college humor sketch when he's got like he's doing all the Batman voices. That actually might be one of my favorite Batman things that come out because of the Dark Knight trilogy. It's been College Humor's Batman series. Batman.
Yeah.
A is for Alfred. That shit's cool because I made it myself.
Have you seen the one of him running away as well, where it cuts too early to him and it shows him running down the hallway? Brilliant.
I remember being a young and watching Batman Begins in the cinema. I remember going to the cinema with my friends, hearing that voice for the first time on screen, and absolutely like just dying of laughter because it was just so ridiculous. I never got on board with that voice at all.
You know, I'm gonna go as far as saying as well. If now Heath Ledger's Joker isn't my favorite Joker. He's up there. He's a very good Joker, but that isn't like the Joker. Like I thought he did an amazing performance, but it became so iconic. I honestly don't think that if his portrayal of Joker, if it hadn't become as iconic as it did in that film, I don't think the trilogy would have done as well as it did. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I think that the trilogy has a lot to answer for that portrayal of Joker, and for obviously everything that happened with Heath Ledger and stuff because of it. But I think that it's because of Joker that trilogy is as big as it is. Yeah. Because nothing else, you know, the Ra's.
Are you sure it's not because of my voice? That was more iconic, surely.
Exactly. But because of Bane, you know, Bane, there are no other characters in that trilogy that stand up as kind of iconic versions of the character.
I will disagree slightly on that. Actually, I will say I actually think Gary Oldman's James Gordon. I meant superheroes.
Oh,
sorry, real heroes. Not all heroes wear capes.
No, because
especially after growing up in the 90s, though, with we obviously in the 90s you used to Bane being Bane and talking burn. And then they gave us that. Oh, I was born to darkness. Like what?
Sean Connery on a respirator.
It was. Yes. Have you seen where he came up with that? Where he came up with that voice? It was all like it's an interesting interview about where that voice came from.
Face stuck in a cup, and it started echoing. He was like, "This sounds great."
Yeah, but he approached Christopher Nolan about it and said, "Look, they're either going to love it or they're going to laugh at it," sort of thing. And then they kind of went with it, and they did both. Eventually, they laughed at it. But no, I think the real people in those films are fantastic, like Morgan Freeman, Gary Oldman.
I've buried too many members of the Wayne family.
Yeah, Michael Caine. I think they're all fantastic. All the kind of supporting characters are brilliant, but the actual supervillains, none of them stand up as iconic, apart from obviously Heath Ledger's Joker. Interestingly as well, did you see that Michael Caine announced as well that he is going to be retiring from acting?
Yeah,
you know, he mentioned this week that he's going to be retiring. So I mean, it's got to be about time. I mean, the guy is pretty old now.
That's isn't he?
He has done his part. He has got so many iconic roles under his belt. Like, let the guy retire.
4, you know, like Jaws for the Revenge.
Jaws for the Revenge has to be a highlight.
When you have your peak of the career like that, he's tried to keep topping it. He could never top it. And so, you know, he's doing the right thing. Maybe Jaws 5. Just for,
I think when Steven Spielberg wrote Jaws, I honestly think he wrote it with the idea of Michael Caine in the fourth sequel, the third sequel, chasing a relative of the shark that had a grudge against the family. Like,
absolutely.
You know, and how I think we're going to kill it by harpooning it with a boat, like, you know,
as it roars.
As it roars.
You're only meant to blow the bloody fins off. And then, like,
oh dear.
Apparently, he did that just to buy a house. He actually said that. It's quite famous. He did Jaws 4 because he wanted to buy a house. There was a
Really?
house he wanted, and he did like Jaws 4 so he could buy it. It was like, or they put a pool in or something like that, or get a swimming pool or something. It was something really like he did it purely, and he would say like, yeah, I did money, just needed the money because I wanted to get something. That's basically going like to Tesco's going, I don't have enough for the meal deal. I'll just go and quickly do this terrible film, and then I'll
yeah.
Dave Prowse said the same thing at a Comic Con. Dave Prowse said when he played Darth Vader and he got the paycheck, he wrote some lyrics to go along to the Star Wars theme tune that said Star Wars, it made me a fortune, it paid off a mortgage and bought me a car. that has stuck with me for years. Like that is
amazing.
100%. All right, so while we're talking about nostalgia and stuff, because we will come back to the fandom stuff, but we're obviously talking about nostalgia and stuff. So there was another big trailer that dropped as well this week. Scream. I love the Scream films. Like I am a huge Scream fan. That redefined horror at the right time for me.
I haven't seen the series yet. Is it worth watching? Because I love the films, but I haven't done the series.
100%.
Right. I enjoyed it.
Series was good. It was definitely good. It was a nice side dish, I think is the best way to describe it. If you're a fan of the films and you're a fan of the lore of Scream, it was a nice kind of, I understand this and this makes sense. But I just thought sort of seeing the big three, kind of David Arquette, Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell back on screen together under the Scream title was enough. Like they could have just shown me a clip of all three of those and I would have been like, yep, buy my ticket now. But it was all the little changes with like the mobile phones and the central locks and stuff like that. It was just, I'm massively hyped. Like
Scream for a modern age.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's where they've gone with it.
Viral videos.
They needed to really, because like
so really quickly. So we're well ahead of it now. We're all big fans of Scream. The poster they released quite obviously says like it's always someone you know or something along those lines. Who's your prediction? Who is the killer?
I hope. Do you know what? I would actually love it if he came back and it was him. That would be amazing. If he didn't die and that he's been serving time in prison or some crap. But no, I've got an awful feeling it's gonna be Sydney. I've got an awful feeling they're gonna go down that road.
Do you reckon? Well,
they've put that tagline to the film, and they've also said in the trailer, it's like they said, isn't the killer chasing down the survivors of the people that were the killers or something? There was like a thing,
like the kids of them or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
like the
kids
generation
of
the killers or something, wasn't it? It was like that's like a proper Sydney move, in it, like revenge. Yeah. I'll kill the people that I'll kill the families of the people that tried to kill me.
It's very that was my first thought, and when that was definitely my first thought,
and that cheesy line of it can you see yourself to become the killer kind of thing. If you say that was that old cheesy saying, isn't there?
It was definitely my first thought. Definitely my first thought. My only the only thing that goes against that for me is that I don't think that they would change the character, because as soon as they make her the killer, she's not the heroine and all the rest of it that she is. My prediction is it's David Arquette.
That'd be good.
That's who I think it is. That's I'm saying it now, but that's my prediction, that it's going to be his character. Just because obviously, the history with the characters, the way his characters kind of intertwined within all the stories and everything. And I think that there's going to be some kind of crazy that's gone on, and he's now the killer. And that's going to, and also in the trailer, you saw him very little, but it seemed like a very similar location that you saw him in as well.
But you did see him with the killer behind him when he was going into the car that time.
Mate, did the first film not teach you anything?
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
There's always that means who's his partner? If that's your prediction.
No, I don't think it's necessarily Courtney Cox. No, I don't think they would agree to that. I think one of them has to be killing the other one for them to agree to this film. Let's be honest. But no, I honestly think it's they are as far as I'm aware. But no, I think that honestly, the reason I back up my thing here is that I don't think that killer you saw in the trailer behind him is the killer. I think because the ghost face and screaming and everything, there's going to be a scene in this film where it's Halloween or something, and somebody's in the outfit, and then nothing to do with it.
Stab outfit, isn't it? Stab the movie in the.
Exactly. So I don't think that that's the killer, but I think that's enough to make us go, well, it's not him because we saw the killer behind him.
It's
so
Anna
that's my
Faris's character, Cindy from the Scary Movie franchise. It crosses over.
It's Dewey.
It's Dewey. Yeah.
Dewey from.
It's their parody counterparts come back to this one and they kill everyone.
Yeah.
Speaking of killing,
no,
killing in retro films like Halloween, though, obviously Halloween Kills is obviously. I think we were talking about this just before, but like the trailers come out and it's caused a bit of controversy for the fact that the serial killer is killing people.
Yeah. Yeah,
basically,
it's because he's killing firefighters. You can't kill firefighters.
Come on, it was a bad move on their behalf. I think if it was in the film, as the film, I don't think it would have caused as much of a stir. But when you've
Michael
got a
Myers
whole
has
film,
been killing cops for years and nobody.
I know.
Firefighter, everyone goes crazy.
But that's what I mean. Is I think if they had left it just as the film, it wouldn't have caused as much of a controversy. But I think that when you've got kind of 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or whatever, and you go right, we need 10 seconds to show people which bit should we pick. Let's pick the bit where he's killing the fireman, and that's gonna straight away. It's going to trigger people. I think that they should have been a bit more tactful with it. That's my personal.
I think it's because that is the first 10 seconds of the film. I'm pretty sure it's going to kick off exactly where the last one left off, and it's him breaking out of that burning building, isn't it?
Yeah, it literally
that has got to be the first opening seconds.
Yeah, it literally carries on from that fire at the end of the first one, doesn't it? So, anyway, let's get back to Fandom. So the other, what else was there? There was all the animated stuff.
So we've got Catwoman Hunted, which I thought looked really good. Yeah. Just because it's Elizabeth. Yeah, Elizabeth Gillies is going to be playing Catwoman, and her voice as Catwoman sounds amazing and sultry, and how you would imagine Catwoman to sound. I'm kind of upset that she's not doing a live action version because I think she would be a brilliant Catwoman.
I think Halle Berry would have made a good Catwoman. if it was done properly, I think she would have made an amazing Catwoman. Yeah. Especially back in the day, but that's a whole other thing.
So yeah, there's that film coming out, and obviously she's teaming up with Batwoman in that. So that should be good. Have a little scrolly here. We got the Batman Cape Crusader got announced, or they revealed a bit more on it, which looks good. J.J. Abrams, Bruce Timm are going to be making. Yeah, are going to be reimagining the Batman mythology and basically making it, as you said earlier, Ryan, more animated series,
Batman animated series than the Batman animated series.
I'm really excited for that.
More thing than the thing itself.
Yeah,
and obviously they said they got it out of the way, and they said they are going to be, there's going to be some changes. Times have moved on. We need more inclusivity and things like that. So some of your iconic characters are going to change, but they're going to work within that universe that he's creating, and he's going for a very noir kind of feel with it, which should be very good. I'm excited for that.
Upping the violence, more adult themes.
He said he's going to be able to do things now that he couldn't do back then, because he's, so they're going to be able to do more adult sort of content with it. So that should be good. Looking forward to that.
And apparently they're just keeping it back as just being Batman. So there's I don't think there's any sidekicks, any mention at this point. There's no mention of the Justice League or anything like that. They don't exist. This is just purely balls to the wall Batman,
which is good. I'm excited for that.
That's what you need from a show. Just balls to the wall Batman.
Yeah. Bat balls to the bat wall Batman.
Put that on a poster and sell it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That would have been a better tagline, actually. You know what? This is just balls to the wall Batman. Nothing else.
Yeah.
And then we got that amazing clip from Injustice as well. Did you manage to see that?
Oh yeah,
I'm so looking forward to. I love the DC animated movies, man. No one talks about them as much, but they're amazing. And I think that animated universe is incredible. I could talk about them. I've got every single one on Blu-ray. I actually always, that's one of the few things I actually pre-order because I look forward to them that much, is the DC animated movies.
Yeah, I really enjoy the animated movies. DC are very good with their animated universe compared to the live action universe. Their animated stuff's on point. It's brilliant. Yeah. Cartoons for adults. We all grew up with the animated series, and they've just made it more mature and more adult themed, which is brilliant. It's still a an awesome cartoon. But Injustice looks brilliant. They showed us that clip and stuff, and it just looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the final thing was that we got the announcement that they're going to be doing another series, obviously, of Harley Quinn and the Harley Quinn TV show version.
Yeah, that's really good, actually. That's genuinely funny. Have you seen it?
I love it. Yeah.
I caught a little bit of it. Yeah, I've not watched the whole thing, but I did catch a little bit when it first came out.
I was really surprised with that because, like, I didn't have high expectations, and I watched it. I actually found myself genuinely laughing aloud. Like, and I was like, oh wow, actually, this is a pleasant surprise. Because also, I was getting at that when that came out. I was like, oh, I'm just a bit bored of Harley Quinn now because it just seems like Harley bloody Quinn's the future of DC. But I have to admit that animated show, I'm all for that. And I thought Katie, I just pronounced her surname like Kuko. Not actually sure you pronounce her surname, but like her voice for it is perfect, and the way they've done like her and Poison Ivy and all these other King Shark, like it's just hilarious. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, correct me if I'm wrong though. Wasn't Harley Quinn like originally created for a cartoon or for a comic?
An animated series.
It was animated series, wasn't it?
She was basically just a henchman with extra lines, really.
Yeah. So that like it's amazing to think how a character that was literally created for the cartoon has become essentially such a massive moneymaker for DC and carried the brand for time.
Still the Condiment King sits in the shadows. Dark day.
You know what I mean?
When I was obviously like when we were younger, I think it's because like we've kind of grew up as Harley Quinn's evolved. Like Harley Quinn was our kind of like Joker sidekicky character, but she was like in the animated series. Then we saw her like then she got her own things in like sort of in the comics, and then she's evolved again. And I think we've just kind of grown up with the character getting more and more mature and bigger and bigger and bigger. So
yeah, but you speak to some of the younger people, and you say, who's your favorite DC character, and they'll say Harley Quinn. Like, especially with a lot of the young girls, like she's a real. Yeah,
I did find it a bit disturbing at the conventions though, because there's like too many little kids going around in hot pants as like the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, and I think there's just something really unpleasant and wrong about that.
Wear an animated series leotard with a big bells on the head. You don't need hot pants and a baseball bat. You want to nail Harley Quinn? Go for anime. Go for the original source. Go for the source material. Get that.
I've had actual conversations with people before where I've kind of gone, not trying to be the party pooper, but do you know what the character Harley Quinn is that your daughter's dressed as? They're like, no. I'm like, do you know she's a domestic abuse victim?
Yeah,
that is straight up her character.
Yeah, 100%.
Family picture.
Yeah, it's like,
but that is the
problem, little monster is because she's owned by Joker and she's wearing a dog collar because she's his pet. Like, there's literally so many things wrong with it.
But that's the thing, isn't it? That you get, when a character gets into pop culture and like becomes kind of a household name, they see the kind of sparkly outfits and the hot pants and like that. Oh, it's just she's a cute character, like whatever. But they don't know the source material and the real darkness of it. And that's one thing that DC definitely differs, I think, to Marvel sometimes, is that the darkness and some of the, not so much nowadays, but obviously, going back a little bit, the dark kind of backstories to some of these characters and stuff. It is a shame. It is a shame, but she's a favorite, and it's an easy costume to throw together. So
never going away. Let's put it that way.
No,
nope.
She's not.
Margot Robbie is set for life.
Yeah, she's. But I think she did it. I'm hands up. I think she did it justice. I think she
definitely.
She definitely brought the character.
Has been in this latest Suicide Squad. The latest Suicide Squad film is it's so good. It's night and day compared to some of the other films they've done. But like, I think that was her best point, because also she wasn't as annoying. In some of the other films, she's been a bit too annoying. Like they've pushed her too much. Whereas this one is a nice level.
And do you know the story behind that? She actually had input on this one. On the latest film, it's the first time she's had her own input. She's removed some of the tattoos. She got rid of rotten on her face. She actually had like contact with the director and said that this is where she wants to go with the character, and they allowed her to do it and like make her own Harley Quinn this time and make it more realistic, which was better.
Yeah, it worked so much better.
Wasn't as sporadic and mental.
No. But yeah. Anything else that came out of Fandom that we've missed?
That was kind of it. They were all the major ones. I know, Ryan. I think maybe we might want to speak about the Young Justice. Have we mentioned that yet?
I can't remember if we talked about it. I think we talked about it, but I'm just
Yeah,
excited for it. Yeah, we did talk about it. I think it'd be like, I'll just talk about it again. I can talk about it forever and ever.
I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. It's on my list. I've got it. At
You know what we
bottom of
didn't
mine.
see though was DC Super Pets though. Where's that?
Oh,
where's that update? Where's that update?
We did get it. We got a little stupid animated sneak peek of where
tiny,
they had the Rock and Kevin Hart. You know, the new weird best friends that seem to be in everything. And
the Batman cars as well. Was it Bat Cars or something? It's called or something.
I didn't hear about that.
Have you not seen this weird kids show that's coming out where like the Batmobile is like Disney's cars?
Oh my god! Please tell me that's a thing.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
To the internet.
Pixar gonna sue somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, please
No
tell
way.
me. Please tell me it's Will Arnett's voice. Please tell me it's Will Arnett's voice.
I would really hope so.
I am the Batmobile.
Ryan's just gonna
Batman.
he's gonna find some fan art now. Just look, this is a thing.
Ryan
Don't
is drawn
upset
in
me.
crowd.
Please tell me this
Don't
is
do
real.
it. Yeah, it
No
is.
way. No way. We're gonna get a sneak peek here. Oh wow.
It's an actual
wow.
TV show that's coming out, and they're all the different Bat vehicles and stuff like that.
And they're all just best friends and driving
It's
around
called Bat
like
Wheels. It's called Bat Wheels.
Batwheels.
Bat
Oh.
wheels. Woo!
It's a new animated preschool DC show. Warner Brothers Animation.
Oh my god!
Project will reportedly air on both Cartoon Network and HBO Max on a date that. So it's going to have the cast's main characters are Bam, the Batmobile, Bibi, the Batgirl cycle, Red, the Redbird, Jet, the Batwing, and Buff, the Bat Truck.
Buff.
The Bat Truck.
And no more news was needed.
And that's it for this week.
There is a Joker car that is shooting some form of jokey things at Batman's Batmobile. This is amazing.
That's
It's
incredible.
got me with a spare tire. Oh my god!
And if it's a preschool aimed thing, you know there's going to be a toy line as well.
Oh, I didn't even
You
think about
know
that.
there's going to be a toy line.
I am buying
It's-
this. Take
Yeah.
my money.
There is
Take
going
my
to be a
money.
toy line.
I want to see how Funko make pops out of these because I mean they make it out of everything else.
Oh, we need
That's
to
going
find
to be that is going to be cool. That is going to be cool.
Hey, look,
but
I
yeah.
can chuck some surprises at you guys. You little
That's-
curveballs.
No,
Insider
I'm
knowledge.
pleased with that one. I'm pleased with that one. But that was it. That
Ethan
really was
Hawke.
it for Fandom. Is he? Well, actually, Batman or the Bat car.
He's voicing Batman. The Bat
Oh,
car is
wow.
voiced by Jacob Bertrand.
What were you going to say? Me? I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Surprise!
whoa. Okay, guys, I'm officially no.
No, the kid is the kid
wow.
from Cobra Kai that plays Hawk. He's the voice of the Bat car.
Amazing, amazing.
I am totally on board with this.
Ryan, you know what?
Dreams do come true.
That was the best thing to round up Fandom with. Just,
You're
you know,
welcome.
forget your Flash and Batman trailers. We're going Bat cars, Bat wheels.
Now, the real question is, will
amazing.
this appear in the Flashpoint movie? That's what we're all asking ourselves.
The annoying thing
anything
is
is
you
possible.
That was
know
under the
there's going to
sheet.
be. You know that a Harley Quinn car's going to turn up at some point, and it's going to be voiced
Oh, of
by
course.
what's she called from animated series.
Can you
She will
imagine
rock
the Flash trailer? You know when he does the big sheet reveal? Underneath it,
Hot Wheels.
Bam,
Bam.
the Batmobile. Oh,
Hey.
hey, Flash! I'm here to save the day.
Are you on board? Yeah, totally.
Balls
Amazing.
to the wall, Batman.
Amazing. All right. No, so that really was it, though, wasn't it? That was it for Fandom. That rounded up Fandom for us. And I've got to take my hat off. I've got to take my hat off to DC. They threw out a lot of exciting news. And I don't know whether it's just because for me personally, I've not kind of had my ear to the wall for the DC stuff, that it was kind of constant excitement, as in like, oh wow, that sounds good, that looks good. So yeah, hats off to DC. That was a really, really decent event, which obviously clears the way now that we've got Hasbro Pulse Con coming up next week. So I'm expecting next week's show to be full of reveals: the Star Wars, the Marvel, G.I. Joe,
Black
Power
Series,
Rangers,
Yaddle, obviously.
Yaddle.
Just throwing it out
Mate,
there.
you joke, but who knows? At the moment, they've given us a carbonized like everything. They might just make a
Oh,
Yaddle
yeah, if it's
figure.
a Yaddle, if it's not carbonized, I don't want that.
It's
It's a waste of a
it's a-
Yaddle. Waste of a Yaddle.
Carbonized vintage collection Yaddle figure accessory.
So
Reddit
I don't know.
edition.
we have some other toy news as well this week. If you
Go
want
on,
to the other stuff as well.
yeah, of course.
So we've got the Masters of the Universe Revelations Savage He-Man with
Yep.
Orko.
Man.
That got announced.
Saw that.
I'm guessing you saw it as potential for a Marvel Legends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Savage Lands, definitely.
Yep.
Hell
We're going to see a lot of them. But I think we've got Savage Lands coming out. I think they're going to redo that pack very soon.
More than likely. Then Jada Toys announced that they are going to be doing another Frankenstein. It's a next level exclusive though, so it's on their next level project, a bit like HasLab, although you don't need to back it. It's going to be $40, and it's Frankenstein's monster, re-released in black and white, but this time it comes with the actual like bed that you see in the original movie.
Cool.
So you can rotate him up and down. He's got a big sheet that goes over him, and he comes in a Universal Monsters box that's celebrating 90th anniversary of Frankenstein. So that is
anniversary. That's mad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. They're all celebrating it one after the other. You had Frankenstein at the beginning of the year and Dracula's this month. They're all celebrating the 90th birthdays. But yeah, the first one to get the re-release is going to be Frankenstein's monster, which tells me they're going to probably do more. So hopefully we'll see a wave 2 of those. Obviously we did have some Star Wars news this week. We got the Retro Collection Mandalorian Wave 2 assortment.
I've heard that Ryan Speaks Geek has done a video on that, explaining his thoughts and future potential.
I think
there was a link in the description.
Ryan.
You know what? Actually, while we're on net, if you're hang on, dropping my boxes. Yeah, go and check out Ryan's link in the description below because he has done a full video on that as well. So give you a little shout out there, Ryan. Get your video likes up and stuff. But yeah,
I might even get 6 views. Woo!
Don't lie. You got more than that, but it is a good video. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good video. So yeah, that was a little bit of Star Wars news actually.
I'm coming around to steal that background that's in your videos, mate. I'm gonna warn you. Those little
best thing about that background, people have been messaging me about it. It's a rug.
It's amazing. It's a great little background.
You know when you send those things to your family and go for Christmas, jokingly like, "Oh, for Christmas." Well, one year, I was at my parents for Christmas, and everyone else got these really unusual like this, and I was like, I was feeling the present. I don't know what this is. And when I opened it, I was like, I still don't know this. And suddenly there it was. I unfolded it, and it was a 6x4 vintage Star Wars figure style rug. And I was like, amazing. Mum was like, you didn't think I'd sort that out, did you? And I was like, nah, but that is awesome. So I had it on the floor for one. I thought, I need a good background. I thought, looking down, that'll do.
Yeah, it works, man. It works.
But yeah, it's gonna be nice to get Ahsoka Tano in that classic sort of Kenner look. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Death Troopers also as well. Going to army build those.
Oh yeah. Then obviously McFarlane dropped on the same day as the Fandom. They dropped all the pre-orders in the UK for your Swamp Thing. And finally the exclusive from the Joker set. You know that we should have got in the Joker wave.
Yeah.
And then a couple more.
About it.
And not better about it at all.
Is that the Killing Joke one? Is that the one with the hat
with
and
the camera? And Killing Joke Joker. And then we got a couple of the Warhammer figures, another repaint of the Space Marine and the Orc finally.
Okay.
So they should be good. And then
there was one Transformers.
Oh yeah, go on.
Galvatron. They're doing I think it's Prime Toys, something like that. Managed to get a hold of a leaked version. It's going to be announced at the HasCon apparently, and it's a sort of reformatting Galvatron. So it's the Galvatron, I think the current Kingdom mold, but it's done in translucent purple, but with all the grid lines on it. And it also comes with loads of the minifigures and ships from the 86 movie to go with the Unicron stand, like the HasLab Unicron, which is really interesting because if you get that figure and you don't have the HasLab Unicron, I don't know what you're going to do with all the accessories because there is literally no other use for them other than to be on that stand.
eBay then, but they'll be on eBay. They'll be selling like hotcakes, mate, for those that have got the Unicron.
Then we had the Evil Dead Ash Williams 40th anniversary Ultimate figure by NECA as a part of their Halloween releases.
Can't believe it's 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary. Good God.
40th anniversary of the Evil Dead.
Army of Darkness is one of my favorite films of all time.
This is my boomstick.
I don't have an Ash Williams figure, so I'm happy that this is getting a re-release. And it's going to be as part of the Ultimate series. So he's coming with, he's got the lantern, he's got the tape recordery thing, whatever you call it, the reel-to-reel. He's got the pump action shotgun. He's obviously got his chainsaw and the axe as well, and two different face sculpts to go on it. So you get three heads out in all.
Nice,
so, decent little figure.
Yeah, groovy,
baby.
Give me some sugar.
And then, of course, we got those DC Multiverse, the Batman figures revealed, and they have gone and have been up for pre-order in America right now, not in the UK just yet, I don't think. Unless comments.
Yeah, but they
start talking.
But they came, didn't they? They came kind of unannounced because they leaked. So I'm sure that UK retailers will catch up when they can.
Yeah. The actual Batman figure looks okay. It's the rest of the wave that just looks so weird.
Yeah. That Riddler, sorry. I get the concept. I get how it's going to work as in the film and stuff. But just as an action figure, it's just not very exciting.
Yeah, I know, I'm with you on that. It's going to be nice to get Robert Pattinson's Batman nice and by the looks of things.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And of course, the bat cycle as well looks really nice. So I'm going to get that definitely. So even if I don't use it for my Batman, it's a decent looking motorcycle for other characters.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Figures.
Yeah.
And that was everything.
You can customize it for the Batgirl cycle from the upcoming super hit Bat Wheels.
Stick a couple of googly eyes on the front. There you go. Only other news as well is that obviously Venom Let There Be Carnage officially released in the UK this weekend or last weekend, even on the 15th, wasn't it? So obviously that's now out and about. And the Eternals is getting its previews on beginning of this week. It's either Monday, Tuesday, something like that it's going to be previewed. So we're obviously going to start getting our reviews out for that, Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, to find out whereabouts that's going to land. I've said it on all of my reviews, but I am massively hyped up for this Eternals film. I think that this could be the big one that no one saw coming. I think that a lot of people are hating on it, but I think a good majority, good majority of minds might be changed after this. And the interesting thing, I just want to put it out there now before anything does really leak on the internet. If you actually look at the cast, it's such a financially heavy cast. It's obvious that they're not setting up kind of like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 movies. This is potentially going to be a real one-off. So they've said that it's the impact of this film is going to kind of change the MCU. So I don't know. I'm just really excited. I think it's going to be really cool.
Hasn't Kit Harington been given a multi deal though?
Yeah, but he's Black Knight.
Yeah.
So
he's got the multi deal, hasn't he? I know that.
Yeah. So that character, I don't know.
Survivor.
Yeah. I just think there's going to be something that I think it's going to be one that people are going to massively underestimate. I think it's going to make some noise. It's going to turn a few people's opinions. And I'm really massively hyped. So that, reviews for that are going to be popping out soon. So, and then that comes out, I think, November 5th. Yeah. So
November
only a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
Is it 5th? Something like that. Yeah.
Well, it is in my neck of woods, Castleford, Escape. You can buy my tickets now.
There you go.
The 5th lunchtime ticket. There we go.
Cool. You just bought it while you're online.
Yeah. I've got a Cineworld card.
Literally, there you go. We're like live on the show.
Cineworld card.
Bought his ticket. There you go.
He's also redecorated 2 walls, ordered a couple of posters, done his food shop. Tesco's dropping around in a bit.
He's actually filmed 2 more reviews as well while we're on this call. You just,
context.
I am finishing this podcast, and then I am going to look up the sneak peek for Bat Wheels or whatever it's called, and I am making a video on this thing.
100%. It's got to be done.
Amazing.
Got to be done.
One thing I can do that I achieved this weekend is that I have given the gift of Bat Wheels to you both.
What a gift. What a gift.
Balls to the walls, Bat Wheels. That's what it's going to be.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. But yes, I think that wraps it up. I think that's about it for the week, gents. Yeah. I think that's, so obviously next week is going to be a big Marvel Star Wars Hasbro show. So obviously if you are listening in, then, prepare for that because it's definitely going to be a big one. And then the week after that, Hasbro Pulse Con is next weekend, 22nd and 23rd. So Friday and Saturday of next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then the week after that, is our 20th episode, our episode 20. So got a few things hopefully planned for that one, just to kind of celebrate that milestone that we've kind of hit 20 weeks. But yeah, so next week,
6 of them are illegal.
All of it. Next week's all about Hasbro. The week after that is all about us.
We need those buttons. We need those buttons to press every time you say the 20th episode. I want the voice of Owen Wilson going, wow.
Wow.
It's so loud. Everyone's walking and talking.
It's all right. I'll tell you what, when we cut it together, we'll just cut in a clip of him. We'll cut in a clip of him just to do it. But yeah, so I think that's everything. So if you are, of course, listening on podcasts, then please check out the description below and follow the links. And then if you want, you can watch the videos, or at least you can follow us all on various different social media channels. If you're watching on YouTube, then as always, please like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support is very much appreciated. Do check out Ryan Speaks Geek and, of course, SuperSorrell, and give those guys a follow if you don't already. But yeah, until next week, gents, I think that's about it. So keep it geek.